Hi students, welcome back to Algebra 1 Day 6. Today we're solving linear equations. Let's get started with question 1. I have 5x minus 7 equals to 3x plus 3. I'm going to move all my x terms to the left and all my non-x terms to the right. So here I have a 5x left over on the left side, and I'm moving that plus or positive 3x over from the right, so it's going to become a minus 3x. And I have a 3 left over on the right. I'm moving a minus 7 over from the left, so it's going to become a plus 7. Remember, whenever we move terms, we're going to flip the signs. So plus becomes minus and vice versa. So 5x minus 3x, that's going to be 2x. 3 plus 7, that's going to be 10. Now I'm going to divide both sides by the coefficient of x. So 10 divided by 2, that's going to be 5. X is equal to 5. Moving on to question 2 here, I have 4y plus 12 equals to 7y minus 9. And now I'm going to move my y terms to the right instead, and my non-y terms to the left. That's because I just prefer to work with positive numbers as opposed to negative. So here I have a 12 left over on the left. I'm going to add 9. I have a 7y left over on the right, and I'm going to minus 4y. So here, 12 plus 9 is going to be 21. 7y minus 4y is going to be 3y. Okay, again, I'm going to divide both sides by the coefficient of y, which is 3. 21 divided by 3 is 7. My final answer is y equals to 7. Moving on to question 3 here, I have 9x minus 15 equals to 13x plus 21. And right here, it doesn't matter which side I move the x terms or the non-x terms to. I'm still going to work with negative numbers, so I'm just going to move all the x terms to the left and the non-x terms to the right. I have a 9x left over on the left, and I'm moving that positive 13x over from the right. It's going to become a minus 13x. I have a 21 left over on the right, and I'm moving a minus 15 over from the left. It's going to become a plus 15. So here, 9x minus 13x is going to become 4x, negative 4x, excuse me. And I have 21 plus 15, which is 36. Okay, let's now divide both sides by the coefficient of x, which is negative 4. So I'm going to write down this step, just to be clear. Negative 4 divided by negative 4, well, I'm just going to cancel it out. And then I have 36 divided by negative 4, which is going to be negative 9. All right, I'm going to clear my workings and move on to question 4. So question 4 right here, I have 11x minus 14 equals to 16x plus 26. So I'm going to move my x terms to the left and my non-x terms to the right. So here I had a 11x, and I'm going to move that 16x over from the right. So it's going to become a minus 16x. I have a 26 left over on the right. I'm moving that minus 14 over from the left. It's going to become a plus 14. All right, so right here, I'm going to have a negative 5x equals to 40. My x value here is going to be equal to 40 divided by negative 5, which is negative 8. All right, let me clear my screen, and I'm going to move on to question 5. All right, let's take a look at question 5 here. In question 5, you can see I have a parentheses. So it's 4, and in parentheses, 3x minus 7. and then equals to 5x minus 12. Before we can move any terms around, let's remove the parentheses by applying the distributive law. So first, 4 times 3x is 12x. And then 4 times minus 7 is going to be minus 28. Remember, when I'm multiplying a number into a parentheses, I'll need to multiply that number into every term. And that's what I did here. So now let's move some terms around. I have a 12x that I can leave on the left-hand side. And I'm going to move that positive 5x over to the left. It's going to become a minus 5x. I'm moving that minus 28 over to the right. So it's going to become a positive 28. And don't forget, we still have that minus 12 over there. So right here, I have 12x minus 5. It's going to be 7x. And I have a 28 minus 12. It's going to be 16. So x is going to be equal to 16 divided by its coefficient, which is 16 divided by 7. So that's my answer for question 5. Next, I'm going to move on to question 6 here. You'll notice in question 6, I have a lot of coefficients here of x, and they're all fractions, including that term on the right. So let me read it right here. It's 1/4 x minus 1/5 x equals to 1/10. Or 1/4x minus 1/5x equals to 1/10. So here, I find that it makes the calculations a lot easier if I'm able to get a common denominator all throughout the equation. So 4, 5, and 10, the common denominator is going to be 20. What I want to do right here is to multiply 5 to 4 to get 20. I have to do it to the numerator as well. I'm going to multiply 4 to this other fraction to get 20. And finally, I'm going to multiply 2 to 1 out of 10. So my fractions are going to become 5 out of 20x minus 4 out of 20x equals to 2 out of 20. So let's figure out what is 5 out of 20x minus 4 out of 20x. That's going to be 1 out of 20x equals to 2 out of 20. So here, since I see that x is being multiplied by 1 out of 20, I'm going to multiply both sides by 20. Okay, so since I'm multiplying and dividing by 20 on the left side here, we can cross them out. I have x left. Same thing on the right here. I am also multiplying and dividing by 20. A way to make this look a little clearer might be to write 20 as a fraction out of 1 and then cross simplifying. I can divide 20 and 20 by, well, 20 and get 1 and 1. So what I have is 2 times 1, which is 2. So my answer for question 6 is x is equal to 2. Now I'm going to move on to question 7. In question 7, as you can see, I have 6 out of 7x plus 2 out of 7x, and that's equal to 24 out of 7x. Okay. So since I have all the same denominators here in my question, what I can do is I can picture that each and every one of these terms are being divided by 7, since that's what a fraction is, right? The numerator divided by the denominator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the entire equation by 7. So take a look right here. Here's my equation, 6 out of 7x plus 2 out of 7x equals to 24 out of 7. What I mean by multiplying the whole equation by x is I'm taking the entire left side, multiplying that by 7, I'm taking the entire right side, multiplying that by 7. So I'm multiplying the entire equation by 7. As you can see here, when I multiply 7 into the first term, 6 out of 7, the 7 is just going to get crossed out, right? Because I'm multiplying and dividing by 7. So I'll get 6x left. And then when I multiply 7 into the other term here, 2 out of 7x, the 7 is also going to get crossed out. So it's just going to be 2x left. Same thing here on the right side, 24 out of 7 multiplied by 7. As you can see, it's multiplying and dividing by 7. So I just have 24 left. And this makes the equation so much easier, because 6x plus 2x is just 8x. And after dividing by 8, I find that 24 divided by 8 is 3. Hence, x is equal to 3. All right. I'm moving on to my question 8 here. I have 5 out of 6x minus 1/3 x minus 5 out of 2. And that's equal to 1. Now right here, I can't multiply the whole equation by the same number here. So let's find a different way for us to solve this. Now right here, what I want to do is to convert all of my fractions to have the same denominator. So let's multiply this by 2, right? Since 1/3, that 3 times 2 is going to give me 6. And then here I have a 5 out of 2. So 2 times 3 is going to give me 6. So I'm going to multiply that fraction by 3. All right, let me rewrite the fraction here. It's 5 out of 6 minus 2 out of 6 x. Whoops, I missed an x there. Let me rewrite that. That's 5 out of 6x minus 2 out of 6x minus 15 out of 6, and it's equal to 1. Okay then, so I'm going to take 5 out of 6x minus 2 out of 6x. So this is going to be 3 out of 6x minus 15 out of 6 equals to 1. Next, 3 out of 6x is going to be equals to 1 plus 15 out of 6. Let me clear up a little bit of space here for my equation. I'll move it up here. Okay, so 3 out of 6x is equal to 1 plus 15 out of 6. And remember, I can express 1 as a fraction with the same numerator and denominator. 6 out of 6. So at the end here, we'll find that when I add up these fractions, I'm going to get 21 out of 6. All right, next, my coefficient of x is 3 out of 6. In order to remove it, I'm just going to multiply by its reciprocal, 6 out of 3. And I'll do so on both sides. Now, I'll just have x left because 6 and 6 can be cross-simplified, 3 and 3 can be cross-simplified. And on the other side, I notice that 6 and 6 can also be cross-simplified to become 1 and 1. And 21 and 3 can both be divided by 3. I'll get 7 and 1. So what I have is 7 times 1 on the right side, which is 7. The value of x is 7. Next, I'm going to move on to question 9 here. Now in question 9, I have 5 out of 4x minus x minus 2 equals to 1/2. Okay, first let me subtract the like terms here. 5 out of 4x and x. So I'm going to rewrite 5 out of 4x as is, but you'll notice that if I'm subtracting x, this means I'm subtracting 1x. And a whole number 1 can be expressed as a fraction with the same numerator and denominator. So I can rewrite x as 4 out of 4x. So 5 out of 4x minus 4 out of 4x, well, that's just 1 out of 4x. Minus 2 equals to 1/2. Okay then, next I'm going to move that minus 2 over to the right. So that's going to be plus 2 on the right here. So 1/4 x is going to be equals to 1/2 plus 2. 2, I'm going to rewrite that as a fraction here. So this would be 4 out of 2. 1 out of 4x is going to be equals to 5 out of 2. So here, since the coefficient of x is 1 out of 4, I can multiply by 4 in order to remove it. I'm going to multiply by 4 on both sides. So I have x equals 2. And this is going to be 20 divided by 2. One last step here, 20 divided by 2 is 10. So let me write my answer here as 10. I'm going to make some space for the last question here, which is question 10. Question 10, I have 12 times 2/3 x minus 5 out of 4, and is equal to 1. All right, let's apply the distributive law here. First, 12 times 2/3 of x. And then 12 times minus 5 out of 4. I'm going to write this as minus 12 times 5 out of 4 equals to 1. As you can see, I'm multiplying 12 into each term in my parentheses. So let's work on this 12 times 2/3 of x. I can rewrite 12 as a fraction out of 1. And now I can think about cross-simplifying. Here, I have 3 and 12. They can both be divided by 3 to get 4 and 1. As you can see here, I'm going to get 4 times 2x, which is going to be 8x. And then we take a look at the second fraction here. I can rewrite again the 12 as 12 out of 1, and we can cross simplify by dividing 4 and 12 by 4. I end up with 3 times 5, which is going to be 15. So right here I have 8x minus 15 is equal to 1. Let me move that minus 15 over to the right. It's going to be plus 15. One plus 15 is 16. One last thing, 16 divided by 8 is 2. X is equal to 2. Awesome. So we're all done with day 6. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye-bye.